Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means share it with somebody you think might get something out of it. Guys, the reading today is very simple. It's called Keeping the Faith. Very important and exactly what's changed my life. So, keeping faith. We grasp the limitless strength provided for us through our daily prayer and surrender, as long as we keep faith and renew it. There are two very important parts to recovery: getting clean and staying clean. Getting clean is comparatively easy as we only have to do it once. Staying clean is more difficult, requiring attention every day of our lives, yet both draw their power from faith. We got clean on faith. We admitted that addiction was more powerful than we were, and we stopped trying to fight it on our own. We turned the battle over to a power greater than ourselves, and that higher power got us clean. We stay clean each day the same way, on faith, just for today. We surrender. Like life may be too big for us to tackle on our own power. When it is, we seek a power greater than ourselves. We pray, asking our higher power for direction and the strength to follow said direction. By exercising and renewing our faith on a daily basis, we tap the resources we need to live clean, full lives. There is limitless strength available to us whenever we need to grasp it. All we need to do is keep faith in the higher power that got us clean and helps keep us clean. And the affirmation is, just for today, faith got me clean and faith will keep me clean. Today I will keep the faith in my higher power. I will renew surrender and pray for knowledge and strength. Guys, I don't know how more blunt to put it. There's a reason I love these readings. This is what I do on a daily basis. I talk about this constantly, and I'll continue to do so. I won't get out of bed and start my day until I've said my prayers. And again, that's my form of, prayer is a form of meditation. I pray and I also meditate. I think they're the two most powerful things. And it's funny because back when I was a hopeless, addict in despair, I would put no value on prayer or meditation. I did not give them any credence. And I got nowhere. And as I talk about almost every video, this whole journey for me started because somebody asked me to say a prayer one night, and I did so, and it just felt good. It just felt a little lighter, and something clicked inside of me. I continued to pray. It took a while to get me to rehab, but I continued to pray, and suddenly things started to change, and it was all from within. It was all a direct gift from God, right? But then I started to see the miracles that I needed to see to get me to believe that there was hope for me, right? So I tried every which way but loose, but then I finally surrendered, and that goes hand in hand, guys. Surrender is huge. Surrender is not giving in. I've said this so many times. I will say it so many more times. Surrender is not a sign of weakness. Surrender is not, waving a white flag. It's admitting that you can't do something on your own, that you've got to take another approach. You need help. You need surrendering your burdens, surrendering your will is just basically getting in line with something that works. It's letting go of what has not been working and adopting a new policy where you have reinforcements, backup. I don't care if you're the best super soldier of this country, which is the best country there is, obviously, has to offer. You can't go in and take on an army by yourself. You have to have reinforcements. We need help. We all do. And the best thing I ever did was finally come to understand that I was not an island, I could not stand on my own, and that I had completely muffed up my entire life. My programming was wrong, my thinking was wrong, my actions were terrible, and the results I got were directly in line with what I was doing. Made perfect sense at the end of the day. Now, back at the time, I would have told you something completely different. I would have said it was everything, this, that, the other, and you know what? At the end of the day, I couldn't change any of that. What I could change was my faith. I could adopt faith. And it's funny because once I did, I come to find out I had faith all along. Guys, there's no end to the beauty. There's no end to the amount of strength, right? Like, anytime I have something come into my life that, and again, in the past, I would never see these things coming. I would step into traps. I would step into pitfalls. I would step into situations that caused failure because I was unarmed for the situation. Today, because I do that little thing I talk about all the time where I digest the situation, I pay attention, and then I respond appropriately. And I can only do that because I pray morning and night, and because I meditate daily, it has changed the way my brain works. And as I've stabilized and as I've continued to do this, I've constantly looked for other ways I could add and increase these things that are working in my life, because for once in my life, things are working. I mean, that may sound so simple, but from where I come from, man, from what I've been through, that has not always been my experience. I love my life today, guys. On a little side note, because things are going so well, I talked about last week getting the opportunity to install a new heating system, a new gas-fired boiler in a home. I just got off the phone with the customer and finalized that job. Guys, that is huge. The trust required for me to go in and take on this job is amazing, and the profit. And I gave the guy an amazing price. I gave him an actual added discount. And I'm going to make what I used to make in a month in a day. Like, that's what's happened in my life because I've adopted a position of faith. And again, that's just a one little thing. What's happened in my life is I've become healthy. Guys, I used to look in the mirror and I was absolutely horrified. Not that I'm some superstar GQ, but you know what? I look healthy today. I'm not embarrassed by the person I am. You know, I go to the gym and I shock people by putting 315 pounds on the bench press at 52 years old. I go out and do jobs with this upbeat, personable attitude, and I get more and more clients. I've got 2 business meetings tomorrow morning with 2 new companies that are property management companies, so they have, in excess of 30 or 40 properties they maintain, and I'm going to be offered, or possibly, I shouldn't dare count my chickens before I hatch, but I've got the interview to go in and possibly take over the contract for at least a percentage of the work they do. Guys, this is how empires are started, right? And it's all because I tried everything except the faithful angle my entire life, and I never got anywhere. Addiction always kicked my ass because I didn't have the reinforcements to fight it. This time around, I aligned myself with my higher power. And again, I didn't do all the things I've done overnight, but step 1 was, all right, throw in the towel, surrender, admit that what I was doing could not go on, stop and pay attention to where you're at, become honest with a couple people, because literally the other option was I was about to be put out on the street. And again, even then, I look back now and I see how things in the past I would have lied, cheated, and stealed. And for once, I just surrendered and said, okay, I'll go to rehab. Okay, I need help. And the minute I did that, that felt good. And all of a sudden, I had somebody from being so alone and so isolated where nobody knew what I was doing. People, didn't hear from me for 3 days. They thought they'd come find me dead, but didn't bother to do anything about it. Suddenly, I had people offering me things, people lining up to bring me food, bring me clothes, make sure I had a ride to rehab, or make sure my apartment would be safe. The minute I surrendered, I started to get help. So then I got to rehab, and then my buddy Doug, my family, people were reaching out and making sure, do you need anything? Can I bring you anything? Keep in touch. And I started to feel like I was, like, literally, before I hadn't even gone through the detox part of it yet. But I immediately already had people backing me and reassuring me that it'd be okay, that they'd be there for me. And again, I'd asked God to make sure I never had to do this again. So he made sure that detox I went through hurt for 12 straight days. I'll never forget it. It scared the life out of me. I thought I'd done irreparable damage to myself over this last run. And then immediately when I accepted that and said, okay, nothing I can do about it, let me start just doing the best I can to see what I can put together here, suddenly everything started coming back. So I doubled down again. I started praying more. I started reading books about prayer. I started engaging with all the classes, right? Every former stance that I would take in rehabs, I threw away and said, no, this is it. Clean slate, fresh start. Show me what you want to show me, and I'll find out how I can apply it to my life. Suggest it to me, and I'm going to take it. And I did. IOP, which I used to just think was the most ridiculous thing in the world. How can anybody do it? How can anybody fit that in their lives? Well, I've worked my life around that now. I've been out 9 months now. My IOPs have all... And the thing is, guys, after the 6-month IOP is up and over, I've re-upped for every bit of aftercare that they've offered me, and I'm still in touch with all those people today. And yet also running my business, which is thriving. Also active in my AA group, which I get to start sharing tomorrow officially. Like, it's amazing that I've managed to find space for all these things that I thought was impossible, and it's because I've shed all that didn't serve me, all my burdens. That's all you surrender, guys. When I've surrendered my old life fully, everything that was good got to come with me. And then everything that was bad has been slowly fading away. And then what's happened is I've been getting mental clarity, physical strength, aging backwards, feeling good about myself, liking the person I am, taking the time to find out who I am, what my values are. And then it's amazing because as I've done so, I've come to understand that my life didn't work because I was forcing myself to be in a position that was directly opposite of everything I valued. Like, how could that possibly work? No wonder I was miserable. No wonder I was trying to medicate myself. But here's the thing, I don't blame anybody else for that. It was all a series of my decisions, and that all started from walking away from my faith. Since I've adopted faith, guys, this is the one thing I find 100% sure, with 100% accuracy. The more I delve into my faith, the more I get out of life. The more things I do work. My friend Doug came back from Florida today, thinks, he got OCD. I manage a lot of his properties, and typically when he comes home, people hide and they freak out. So I had a little bit of anxiety last night, so I added that to my prayers and said, God, just let me know what I got to do to make this a smooth transition. So I get up this morning, I got right out of bed, and I said, I'm not going to hide from anything. I'm going to go face and what I walk into. I walk into a big hug and accolades and tell me how proud of me he is, and how much more work he wants to give me, and how much more responsibility and more money he's offering me. Guys, even the things that I think I have to fear, I don't. Because I'm aligning myself with my higher power. I'm leaning into my faith. And again, this is all on a 24-hour basis. What I did yesterday won't keep me sober today. What I do today will help guide me for tomorrow, but it won't keep me sober tomorrow. It's when I get down on my knees tomorrow morning when I first wake up and start my day in prayer, and then remain faithful and act. Not just saying the words, not saying it, but acting in faith. And that's what I do today, guys. I walk into every situation expecting the best, expecting things to go well, because I have faith in what I've done, where I am, what I'm doing, and who I'm interacting with. Coming from that, but guys, we find what we seek, right? Seek and ye shall find. So expect good things. Act from faith. Expect things to go well, but then take the actions that would align with it going well, and good things will happen. It's really that simple. It's a very complicated disease, and life can be very difficult, but I'm finding freedom and success because I've simplified my life. I keep a very few core principles, and I apply them to everything, and I just let the rest of it fall into place. What I worry about, because again, I was talking about this with my therapist today. I'm so much more stress-free, and I have so much more freedom in life today because I've given up the drama. I don't worry about it. And I used to worry constantly, what's this person want, what they think, what do I say to them, what do I say to them? I don't worry about any of that today. So what I do is I do what makes me proud of what I do and say, and if I do something wrong, I promptly admit it, and I'll backtrack from it. But I worry about two relationships. A relationship I have with myself, and that with my higher power. And it's amazing. That's all I got to do. So all I do is just make sure what I say and think is in alignment with who I am, and the actions and the thoughts and the things I do are something that I would want to say in front of God or in front of Jesus or in front of my higher power. And suddenly I don't have to worry about anything else. Everything else falls into place. And I also take leaps of faith, and I understand constantly when something seems like it's going to hurt and seems like it's taking away from me, I fully trust and believe that there's a reason for that, and something better is going to replace it. And that's what I found without fail, 100% across the board. Guys, we get clean in faith, we stay clean in faith. That's the lesson for today. It's a beautiful one. It was a great reading. It means the world to me. This is something I hope you can see from this video. I'm incredibly passionate about it. I'm trying to share these gifts because it's literally changed my world. It's made me a part of a life that I actually want to live. Everything about this world in this life is absolutely amazing, and I love it. And I'm honored to be who I am today, and I'm honored for the opportunities I get to take today. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so very much for being here. I appreciate so much you taking the time to hear me out, and I hope you're applying these to your life. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.